people think about Larry Hoover Sr., they think gangster. And what they don't understand is that he appeals to people because he knows how to deal with people. He knows how to build relationships. He would tell me that when individuals would come into the prison that would be considered his opposition or other gang leaders, he would introduce himself to them in the beginning so that they wouldn't have to meet each other when they was at odds. And if it was a problem between any of these guys, between his guys or their guys, he could be able to go talk to the guy that was in control. Like he believed in common sense. His thing was you catch more bees with honey than you do with shit. So if you treat people right, then they give it back to you. And him being charismatic is what helped him become the person he is, get the love and trust from the people that he got it from his own people and other individuals. You know, we look at it as organizations, and he look at them as men. You know, we talking about the Blackstone, the GD, the Vice Lord, the BD, and he looks at them by their name. But people think they could be him, and they could bully their way into being who he is. But being a bully isn't what made him who he is. Knowing how to deal with people and respect is what made him who he is. The biggest misconception of my father is that he's still living gangster disciple. People think that my father is a 73-year-old man locked under the mountain in ADX thinking of gangster disciple. Like, my father is sickened to see what's going on in our community. Even more sickened to see that they say the gangster disciples did it. And he knows that those are not the people that believe and follow him, because if they believed and follow him, they wouldn't be doing what they're doing. So for people to believe that my father is in the know, in the likings of what's going on out here in the world is the biggest misconception. Like, my father is a man that wants to see peace and change in our community, wants to see us come together as a community. For them to think that he's the thug that they are, that they living in a likeness of him. You know how they, in the Bible, in Christianity, you supposed to live in the likeness of Jesus. The people that think they living in the likeness of Larry Hoover and being the best so-called gangster disciple that they can be, as if they're following his lead. That's like the biggest misconception. And like I said before, it's growth and development. If you're still doing gangster disciple, you're behind. That's gonna send you to jail. That's gonna get you killed. Growth and development is gonna change your life, change your family's life. The biggest misconception of Larry Hoover Jr., myself, is that I have it made. That, you know, that life is easy. I had the Bentleys outside. That life is great. That I may be the fact of who they think I am as a person. You know, to think that I'm living gangster disciple life. That's the biggest misconception. Larry Hoover Jr. is about growth and development, which is hard to use because, like I said, people bastardize it. They don't know what it is. It's not another name. I'm gonna keep saying that over and over. I can't stop saying it. It's not another name for gangster disciple. Growth and development is what gangster disciple went to. So that's one of the biggest misconceptions, that it's gangster disciple with me. Nah, it's growth and development. And it's not trying to sugarcoat the name and say it in a nice way. It's a real thing. It's a real way of life. My biggest concern about where Chicago is going right now is it just feels so unsafe in my own community. You know, my mother lives in this community. My kids live in this community. My wife lives in this community. It's other people's mothers and fathers and kids that live in this community. And it's unsafe for them to move around. Like, they can't just have a good time. You have to worry about somebody robbing them, and they may not even have any money. You got to worry about them catching a stray bullet because guys shoot over any type of disagreement, and they don't care who's there or when they do it. Like, my fear is that it's gonna turn into Warsaw. You know, my fear is actually the community is turning into what my father said on the Ghetto Boys years ago. You know, he said we was gonna be locked in our own communities and it was gonna be like we were at war. And that's kind of what it feels like. So as far as what I see on how we can change things in Chicago, you know, a lot of people say it's about jobs and people need to make money. From the way I see it, a lot of people don't even want jobs. I think it's the old people that went through it already that wants jobs. But just like everybody else, they want the jobs that they haven't qualified for. They want to make the money that people have to go through the process to get, which I understand that. But I think the thing that will really change it is changing the mindset. So you go through the process that it takes for us to be what we need to be. Like, if mentally we understood that we're causing our own problems, that we can make the change, nobody's gonna make the changes for us, that's what I think. I think it's reaching to the kids. But that's what it is. We need to make strong men so we don't have to fix broken men. Right now, we're trying to fix broken men. We're trying to fix men that have PTSD. So I really believe we can make strong men and we don't have to fix broken men, and that's what would change our community. As far as the relationships with our community and the police, I believe what needs to be done to make a change, the police have to accept what they've done to cause this problem. Like, they have to show that they want to do something different. You know, it's not for us to just accept what has been done and the way they treat us and the way they go about things. Like, they have to show that they've done things wrong and that they're willing to make a change with how they deal with us. Also, I believe that instead of us being an outsider to the police department, we need to get in the police department so we can patrol our communities and kind of have some say-so on what's going on with the police. Like, it's not a horrible thing. Like, do we really want drugs and crime in our community? Like, are we really okay with it? Do we really not want anybody to be able to call? I know we want to try to do it ourselves, but you got to remember the system that you live in. You're going to go to jail if you're the one that shoots the rapist or the robber in your community. It's not going to work out too good. So we need to be a part of the system to fix what's going on. It's hard to fix things from the outside in. You got to do it from the inside out. Well, you know, the police, what they do that's wrong is they don't treat the people in the community as people. They just look at them as objects. You know, you looked at it as a criminal. If you approached the people in the community as people, you know, treated men as men, women as women, you know, not being overly aggressive, not speaking to them in sarcastic ways. Like, they don't treat the people they don't treat them as people. If you look at videos of interaction between the people in my community and you look at with the police and the interaction of the police with people in other communities, it's a whole different interaction. You know, get on your knees, get on the ground. As a kid, I've been made to take my shoes off in the slushy snow. You know, look in your pants. They stopped that, but they used to look in your pants out there on the streets, how you pull your pants down on the corner, put you in handcuffs before it was time to put you in handcuffs, just because they stopped you. Like, you know, they don't do their job right. They don't do it fairly. They go off suspicion, but don't have any evidence, and they treat you as though you committed a crime. They need to not do things like that. If my father was at home right now at this day, I believe Chicago would look the same. You know, they say he has a lot of influence. I feel like people believe in him, but I don't know that he could change things like he would have changed things before. I believe if he would have, the gap between him and the individuals that's taking part in what's going on at this day and time, I don't know if he's the one that could really fix that. I know that there's people that love him that would put an effort in to fix what's going on, like more people would get into the fight, but I don't know how much different it would actually look. He's 73. He's been gone. These kids don't know him. They know the legend of him. That's why they don't know about what growth and development really is. They know about the legend of Gangster Disciple. They don't know who Larry Hoover is or what he stands for. That's part of what I'm fighting for. I'm fighting for the legacy of Larry Hoover, which should be growth and development. The man that went from a criminal enterprise to bringing people into society. I know he has a lot of influence, but I don't know. I think the world would be the same. I think it's going to take a lot more for these youth to change their mind out here. But I do know that there would be a lot of people that may be willing to get into the fight and help. But I can't see these youngsters changing their mind. You know, I keep a positive mindset about my father, the world, because I think it's innate. I think it's just that's who I am. Like, I've never been a hateful, angry person. You know, I give everybody the benefit of the doubt. And, you know, I think it messes me over out here in the world too, but I can't change it. Like, that's just who I am. I give people the benefit of the doubt. I hope for the best. I look for the good out of things. I can't say where it comes from or why I do it, even though I may do it and, you know, somebody may go left on me while I'm being positive and looking out for them, but I still don't turn into the demon, even though a lot of people deserve it. You know, if I could talk to the young teenage Larry before Kenny was killed, you know, I would tell myself that you can't get time back. It was a lot of time that I wasted when there was things that I should have been investing my time in that would make a difference with who I am right now. Like, people always say when you're young, oh, you got time. But when you live your life just being young and having time, you're really wasting time, because if you put the hours in towards a goal, when you're young, you're ahead instead of being further behind. So I would just tell myself to quit wasting time. While I'm running around doing nothing, I could have been making efforts to start striving towards some goals, whatever those goals may have been. As far as the next presidential election is concerned, it's important for us to take part in it. Like, if we don't take part in picking the people that are in control of what goes on in our life, what do we have to complain about? You know, you can't win the lottery if you don't play. You have no say-so if you don't take part in choosing who you want to be in position. If you don't pay attention to what their beliefs are, if you don't look at what a person's beliefs are and what they do and choose who you want to be there that's making choices for you, then shut up. Don't say nothing. Just watch it happen and say that I really didn't care about it. And that was something I also learned from my father once again. You know, that's part of the reason why he's silenced, because he knew that it was power in the numbers. And it would have been enough numbers to really make some changes and have some control in this city. So now we need to come together and vote for who we believe in. I can't tell nobody who to vote for or who to believe in, but you really need to pay attention to what people are talking about. The system of the United States is not about to change right now. I don't care what anybody thinks. And a lot of people died for us to get the rights to even take part. And now we don't even come out. I'm Larry Hoover Jr., and you're checking out 24/7 HH.